Location at home, video title, Jesus, a swear word or a way of life. The internet is a incredibly tense place right now, so I'm glad you're here. In the last video, I spoke about the fact that we all have a sense of morality, the difference between right and wrong. And the fact that I believe that is because God has made us in his own image. Without a source or a standard, we are left to depend on our feelings and our experience. Both are really inconsistent ways of living our life. And the dangers then of pointing the finger at someone else's behaviour. I'd go back and watch that if you haven't watched that already. The challenge was given. Directions were given. I pointed people to the most sold book in history, La Biblia. Never changing, consistent and solid truth. Over the past week, I've received the same question from 3 different people. And that question is this: how do we know it's truth? Oh, it was at that moment he knew he'd messed up. An authentic response to this question is well thought through. It's patterned together to hit the nail on the head. It's written with truth and love by somebody knowledgeable and wise. So I didn't respond. I'm kidding. It's actually a really, really good question. But first, I believe that it's best that we understand the content of its central point, which is today's video before lining up its reliability. I hope you're sat comfortably. Genesis 1. Imagine if I actually read the Bible on an Instagram video. Again, the Christian faith is centered around one man, Jesus Christ. That's why they call it Christianity. Wait, Christians believe that God came into the world that we live in today, entering the world exactly as we did as a baby. And as he begins to grow up, we begin to see what's important to him. And what he does is he gathers a group of men and begins to teach them what's important to him, who he is, the type of life that we should be aiming for, and the reason he's there in the first place. He tells them that God requires more than just their good work. And actually, it's those that believe in him that will be saved. He tells them that judgment is coming to those people who do not believe and are unrepentant of sin. I'm just a messenger, along with other huge claims like the fact that he was God and that he is the good shepherd. He is the light of the world, and that no one will be saved except through him, and that people would hate him and that people would put him to death. That's pretty crazy, right? But I guess it's easy to talk the talk, but he backs up his talk. There are also accounts of him healing people, bringing people back to life, feeding 5,000 people, calming storms, and the people saw this. And I'm sure that all this helped bring weight to his words, but people were still skeptical. And to be honest, I think I would have been as well. And of course, while all of this is going on, the authorities are aware that this guy is becoming a bit of a risk to the society they live in. Haters gonna hate. So the rulers at the time had him killed for his claims. Not just killed, but crucified on the cross. 3 days later, he rose from the dead, overcoming death, but also backing up the words that he'd said and the actions he had completed before he'd been killed. I'm sure a lot of you know that story. The reason for its importance is actually that without it, the rest of this is pointless. It's a game changer that actually changed and is changing the lives of millions of people across the world today. My faith isn't personal enough to not share it with other people. I want, like I'm sure you want, to put faith in someone and something that speaks love to others, no matter where they're from. To speak truth to others without compromising that love, but that can also back up their words with action. I believe that the biblical accounts and claims of Jesus give the most sense for humans' existence, purpose, and value. That's a pretty outrageous claim. Look, I want to leave you with this. If the story of the resurrection isn't true, then surely it's a waste of time. But if it is, how does that affect our lives today? Thanks, guys.